Greetings, folks. Dominic here to talk about today's General Hospital episode. I thought I was on my original channel for a few minutes because I haven't really posted a video on there in a long time. So, if you guys want to follow my Dommy Woods 12 channel, you guys can go right ahead and do that. I'm gonna try to get some more videos on that my original channel. But this is Dominic here to talk about today's General Hospital episode. Um, I'm gonna start this video off a little, well, basically thanking you guys for watching my videos and for just commenting, subscribing. It really does mean a lot because it takes a lot to make these videos. But I'm just letting you guys know it really means a lot for you guys. Really means a lot that you guys take your time out of your day to watch my videos, watch my recaps, my reviews. But anyway, let's get into today's episode. Today's episode it was actually a pretty good episode. I actually liked it. I love the scenes between Kevin, Lucy, Scott, and um Franco. I actually did like the scenes when they met the Metro Court today. All the scenes that took place at the Metro Court today, I actually love those scenes. Um, it was good to see Scotty and Lucy. Well, Scotty, Lucy, and Kevin today. We don't get to see them all as often because I'm gonna tell you they're vets on this show, and vets make a lot of money, and the show doesn't have the budget to pay them that much. So I understand why we don't see much of them. But anyway, they were basically sitting there talking. When those things started off with Scotty talking to Franco. Scotty was at the bar talking to Franco, and he basically told Franco he doesn't have time for him. He doesn't. He got to basically try to get his career back on track and his personal life on track. And he said something. Franco said something about he and Lucy and whatnot. He said he called them besties times infinity and something like that. And I'm gonna continue to say every time I see Franco, I still just see Todd Manning. He's basically Todd Manning, but he's just going by Franco. That's all I see is Todd Manning. He's going by Franco. But anyway, but yeah, Scott basically says how he goes to Lucy and flat out tells Lucy he wants her back, and he also brought up the fact that he and Lucy have a kid together, and I think he's referring to Sabrina Baldwin, who I wouldn't mind seeing coming back, but not now because there's too many people on this show. But anyway, but yeah, moving on from that, but those are some pretty good scenes. We also had scenes between Franco and Kevin today, and Kevin basically knows Franco has something to do with Heather's disappearance and all that, and Heather's murder and whatnot. We know she's not dead. But anyway, he basically knows. Kevin basically knows, and he basically tells Franco, don't miss any more, um, don't miss any more meetings because apparently Kevin's his psychiatrist or something like that. He's his doctor and whatnot. He's Franco's doctor. He basically tells him don't miss any more meetings. Anyway, then we move to scenes. We have this crazy ass Heather Weber, um threatening Carly, holding a gun, bringing Carly back to her house. Before all that happened, Bobby's there. I didn't even know Bobby was even still in town. Bobby's there on the phone talking to Lucas, who we all know. I think next week Lucas comes back. Lucas comes back to town. She's on the phone talking to Lucas and telling him to, that everything's all right and that she has to stay there for Lulu. He doesn't know when he doesn't know when she doesn't know when she's gonna be back in Seattle. But we all know Lucas is coming to town soon. I think next week he makes his debut. He makes his return back to Port Charles. But anyway, we have scenes with Heather bringing Carly back to her house and making all kinds of threats, saying she's gonna kill her and whatnot, and just because over Franco. I mean, people need to realize, don't ever fuck with one of Heather Weber's sons. I mean, Carly should go ask Olivia. Basically, go ask Olivia, cause I mean, Olivia know good and damn well that's why she have all these damn visions now, cause Olivia have all these damn visions now because of Heather's crazy ass. But anyway, but yeah, Heather's making all these threats, and she basically tells asked Carly was anyone else there, but she tells her that no, Jocelyn basically is living with Jax, is staying with Jax in Australia and whatnot, and I think they're from Australia. Yeah, I think Australia. So Heather's making all kinds of threats, and then Franco comes and knocks on the door, and he's knocking on the door and all that, and when Carly doesn't answer, and he's basically wondering where did Carly go. But anyway, moving on from that, we had seen. I love the Morgan and Sonny scene. Sonny was basically telling Morgan how since he's left, well, Sonny thinks Morgan's left. Since he's left the Jerome's, he has a target on his back, And Sonny's right. If Morgan was to like flat out literally leave the Jeromes, that would put a target on his back. And Sonny basically says he's not gonna let anything happen to Morgan. He's glad he figured out about the Jeromes and whatnot. So that was that. But I guess I love those things between Sonny and Morgan. I mean, Maurice Bernard and Brian Craig have great father-son chemistry. I mean, I love the chemistry between those two. But anyway, but yeah, who else? What else happened on today's episode? The Julian and Ava scenes. I will say this. I actually pretty much I love those scenes today. Julian was basically sitting there telling Ava that about he and Morgan's little plan and whatnot, and Ava basically says it's a terrible idea, and that Morgan has to basically cut ties with all the Jeromes and well pretend like he's cut ties with all the Jerome, and Ava basically knows the plan's gonna backfire, and Julian begins to question Ava's loyalty to him, and he basically manhandles her and whatnot, and Ava got pretty furious, and she basically was like, and she basically told Julian, the next time you want to go ahead and manhandle me and want to make all kinds of threats, you basically she tells him you better be able to back him up and better act on him, because she acts on her threats. But anyway, so apparently some lines have been drawn between Ava and Julian. So anyway, I think eventually Ava's gonna wind up turning on Julian eventually. I think she's gonna wind up turning on him eventually. But anyway, moving on from that, the Luke and Lulu scenes, actually pretty much, I like those scenes. I like the fact that Luke was there for his daughter. Lulu basically told Luke that she left Dante. I was never a big Lulu and Dante fan. The M. Ryland version of Lulu or the Julian Marie Berman version of Lulu. And I just wish I think it's time for them to just move Lulu and Dante along, spread them more across the canvas. Um, so basically that was, I think Lulu and Dante are about to end. But she was basically telling Luke and Bobby eventually later joined, and she basically told them how she needs a break from Dante, and that she's basically staying at Carly's house. And I like the fact that they're playing up that Carly and Lulu relationship, because back in the day, her and Lulu used to be like close, and Carly used to give Lulu advice and stuff like that. So I like the fact that they're playing that up. But yeah, anyway, those were good scenes between the Spencers. Anytime the Spencers is like my favorite family on this show. So it was good to see though, along with the Quartermains, which we don't have many Quartermains on the show right now. Well, they're on the show, but can't tell you the last time we've seen them. When's the last time we've seen Tracy on this show? Seriously, when's the last time we've seen Tracy? Or AJ. I think we're gonna see AJ on tomorrow's episode, but when's the last time we've seen any of them? But anyway, moving along. What else happened on today's episode? Um, Dante and what's his name, Nathan. And I'm gonna say this about the actor that plays Nathan. I have a feeling he probably will eventually get better as an actor, but right now his acting is a little. I'm on the edge about him. I mean, the character seems like he can be a pretty good character, but I'm not the only one saying this. I think he should basically come on with it with the acting. You can tell he's a model. He's a model turned actor. He was basically a model for just like one of his first his first really big acting gig. I think this is like his first major acting gig. So, but yeah, I know the acting is gonna eventually come. His acting probably will eventually improve. I'm giving him a month. Like I do every new character, I give them a month. Especially if the new character, if it's a new character and the actor's not that great, I give them a month. So I'm gonna give him a month. But anyway, but yeah, moving on from that, the Silas and Sam scenes. Like I said yesterday, I knew Silas was married. I had a big feeling that he was married. Like I said, I had a feeling he was married. So apparently his wife is in a coma. Silas's wife her name's Nina. She's in a coma, and apparently she overdosed, and see, because Nathan was sitting there telling Dante about it, and she basically overdosed. She OD'd, and she's in a coma. She's basically brain dead. She's in a coma. So, and apparently her parents, they apparently didn't want to take her off life support or nothing like that. And I think Silas wanted to, but and he basically says how he hasn't seen his wife in 20 years. He's been in a coma for like 20 years. But anyway, so like I said, they also think that Silas basically caused her overdose. But I don't think that's true. I think in a way Ava has something to do with but we know Ava's, so far we know her involvement in all this. Silas was having an affair with Ava. Ava was cheating on, Silas was cheating on his wife with Ava. So he had an affair with Ava. Basically, that's where she factored into all this. But anyway, so far, I think eventually it's gonna come out that Ava had something to do with Silas's wife's death. But anyway, well, she's not dead. She's still alive, but she's like in a coma, and she's brain dead. But anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for today's episode. I pretty much like today's episode. But anyway, let me know how you guys feel about today's episode. Leave me a comment below. I'll try to get back to you guys. This is Dominic checking out. Peace, God bless, and I'm out.